2017 is coming to a close, and with some of the biggest, most anticipated titles right around the corner, we couldn't help but look ahead. I'm your host, Cristal Marie with the Leaderboard, here to take a closer look at some of the most anticipated games of 2018. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to become part of the notification squad. Red Dead Redemption 2. Rockstar Games, the creative minds behind Grand Theft Auto, are finally presenting a follow-up to their critically acclaimed Wild West epic with Red Dead Redemption 2. It's the tale of life in America's unforgiving heartland, this time through the eyes of Arthur Morgan, an outlaw and member of the Vanderlyn gang. As a bad guy, you'll rob banks, hijack trains, hunt, and generally instill misery on all sorts of local townsfolk. The original announcement of RD2 managed to melt down message boards with a single tweet. All it took was one picture of the new logo, and that was enough to garner over 100,000 retweets and 200,000 likes in just one afternoon. And rightfully so, because Rockstar founder Sam Houser claims that the game's vast new atmospheric world will provide the foundation for a brand new online multiplayer experience similar to that of the wildly successful GTA Online. Other known perks include requesting bows and arrows to play with that were present in Red Dead Revolver, but the bad news is that there are now alligators to deal with, as well as bears. Red Dead Redemption was originally scheduled for autumn of 2017, but Rockstar recently delayed the game, saying that extra time is necessary to ensure they deliver the best experience possible. The game is now scheduled for release on PS4 and Xbox One in spring 2018. Kingdom Hearts 3. It only took 12 years of waiting. Kingdom Hearts 3, a holy grail for fans, was finally confirmed for release in 2018. Surely, this would excite anyone who's waited over a decade, but even gamers who are out of the loop can admit the game looks fantastic. The newest trailer premiered this year at D3 2017, which was the 4-year anniversary of the game's original announcement back in 2013. The trailer revealed that a world based on Toy Story will appear in Kingdom Hearts 3. This is the first Pixar film to be represented in the role-playing game crossover franchise, and the graphics are absolutely breathtaking. Both cinematics and gameplay were revealed, in which fans were able to see a clip of Sora interacting with Buzz Lightyear and Woody. To everyone's surprise, the Pixar characters look almost exactly as they did on the big screen, if not better. Still, you're probably wondering, what's this new story about? Well, it takes place after the events of Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance, with King Mickey and Riku hunting after the Keyblade wielders. Sora, Donald, and Goofy, on the other hand, are busy traveling through different worlds in pursuit of the 7 Guardians of Light. The game is set to pick up immediately where Dream Drop Distance left off, and will be the next to last chapter in the Dark Seeker saga. It will also be the first Kingdom Hearts game available on multiple platforms, releasing on both the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One at launch. Far Cry 5. The critically acclaimed yet highly controversial Far Cry series is known for sending players to beautiful exotic locales, equipping them with heavy weaponry, and encouraging them to murder the locals in the name of survival. However, this year Ubisoft revealed their intention to invert that controversy and move the series to the USA. The new game is set in Montana County, and the lead enemies are a backwoods band of white Americans wielding magnums and bowie knives. The cover art is littered with American iconography such as pie, empty beer bottles, steak, and the American flag. A bound prisoner sits in the foreground with the word sinner painted on his back, and a chapel stands in the background. We've done the math here, and it equates to you versus a religious cult. Players will have total freedom to navigate the fictional country of Hope, Montana, and they'll do so as the new junior deputy whose arrival accelerates a fanatical doomsday cult that violently attempts to take over the county. Explore the entire open world alone or in co-op mode, and players can also join forces with residents of Hope County to form a resistance against their attackers. The fun begins in February 2018, with Far Cry 5 set to launch on Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. God of War 4. How long has it been since the last God of War title? With 0 new releases since 2013's Ascension, you could say it's been too long, or 5 years to be exact. Finally, Sony teased us with a new God of War game at last year's E3, and the presentation was nearly perfect. This time around, God of War is switching things up and taking on the likes of the Norse gods. Recent concept art that was released for the game depicts the war-torn desolate world that you'll be exploring, as well as Kratos looking distinctly Scandinavian, and some of the terrifying Norse enemies that you'll fight in-game. That's not the only significant change fans can expect from the franchise. The new sequel promises deeper character development as the story explores Kratos' relationship with his son Atreus, who is still very much naive in the ways of the world. So not only are we getting the Destroyer world back, but we were seeing a more human side of Kratos for the the very first time. Creative director Cory Barlog, who was also the creative director for God of War 2, claims that now that the team is older, adding the family aspect to the story seemed like a natural turn of events. Right what you know, right? As far as the visuals are concerned, Sony and SIE Santa Monica Studio promise stunning new locations to explore, including the addition of new snowy areas as well. There's also a change of voice actor for Kratos, with Terrence Carson being replaced by Stargate SG-1 actor Christopher Judge. God of War 4 will be available in early 2018 for PlayStation 4. Monster Hunter World. For over a decade, Capcom's Monster Hunter series has been wildly successful in their home country of Japan, spanning nearly a dozen games with cumulative sales of more than 40 million. Here in the US, the cult following grows more with every release, but overall it's still an enigma to Western audiences. Monster Hunter World is Capcom's attempt to bridge that gap with the first simultaneous worldwide release for the series. However, current fans should make no mistake, this is the next main Monster Hunter sequel in the series, despite not being numbered accordingly. Capcom explained that their decision behind the game being named World was to celebrate the worldwide release and all new global servers. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the game, the Monster Hunter franchise is a series of action role-playing games where the player takes on the role of a hunter, and as you might have guessed based on the title, the hunter's main objective is to capture or kill monsters on various quests in exchange for loot. Then, of course, players can gather resources and use quest rewards to craft armor, improve weapons, or buy other items that they may need to survive or level up. This new westernized addition to the series aims not to lose touch with its roots, but instead gain more mass appeal by being far more user-friendly to gamers here in the States. So rest easy, hunters. Monster Hunter World will be available for PC and on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on January 28, 2018. Metroid Prime 4. Hold on to that controller, Nintendo lovers. One of the most critically acclaimed games is about to make a comeback for the Nintendo Switch. Metroid Prime 4 is coming out just in time to celebrate its 15th anniversary since it originally launched for the GameCube back in 2002. Metroid Prime 4 is a 3D, first-person reinvention of the classic 2D series that started on the NES. It's been some time since we've had an official sequel to the franchise. Earlier this year, the publisher released Metroid Samus Returns for the 3DS, which was the closest thing to a major entry in the series since 2010's Metroid Other M for the Wii. Therefore, this news may come as a relief to many fans out there who have been crying out to Nintendo for another Metroid game for some time now, since they started revamping other classic properties for the Switch, such as Kirby and Yoshi. In response to fan demands, Metroid Prime 4 was one of the biggest announcements revealed this year at E3. The game is set to release sometime next year, but there is a possibility it could get pushed back, as there is still no date set in stone. So, fingers crossed. Anthem. Anthem is EA's answer to Destiny. If you haven't heard of this one, it's an upcoming shared world action RPG from EA's BioWare studio that is somewhat comparable to Mass Effect or Titanfall 2. In fact, the lead writer for Mass Effect 1 and 2 helped co-write the story for Anthem. Although it's not entirely clear what we can expect at this point in time, but judging by the trailer, it looks like players will team up with friends to become a jetpacking, exoskeleton-wearing group of mercenary types who explore unknown territories and shoot up monsters in an effort to protect humanity. These, quote, mercenaries are known as freelancers, a bold few with the courage to venture outside of civilization and explore a dangerous landscape of primeval beauty. Judging by the success of the online cooperative multiplayer shooter genre, there's plenty of reason to be excited here, especially since it's easily one of the best-looking games slated for 2018, with extreme attention to detail in the surrounding ferns, mud, and murky rivers crowding the dense jungle world. Who wouldn't want to explore that? However, there's plenty of skeptics out there who share mixed feelings towards this particular title. The question is, how is BioWare going to compete with games like Destiny 2 when its history is in single-player, party-based RPG? Well, only time will tell. Anthem is slated for a 2018 release on Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a new Metroidvania game which was funded through Kickstarter last year. The director of this upcoming action adventure is Koji Igarashi, a man most famously known as the creator of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Hence, the current hysteria from fans surrounding this title. Mind you, hysteria is not an exaggeration here. The record-setting campaign pulled in over 5.5 million USD, becoming the highest funded game project in Kickstarter history. Unfortunately, the game was recently delayed until 2018 on claims that it needed additional developer support to reach quality standard. So Koji just recently announced his partnership with 505 Games, the publisher and newest addition to the Bloodstained team. Another reason fans are so enthusiastic over this title is because the game will be reuniting key creators from the Castlevania series, such as the original artist Ayami Kojima and composer Michiru Yamane. Overall, the game is a chance for Koji to return to a genre he loves, and considering Bloodstained is his passion project, the end result seems very promising for Castlevania and horror genre fans alike. Remake. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is scheduled to release sometime during March 2018. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Fans wanted it so badly, and finally they're going to get it. Sometime next year anyway. Originally released in 1997, Final Fantasy VII revolutionized the JRPG market when it sold millions of copies and brought a much wider acceptance of the genre over to the States, which in turn inspired an entire generation of fans and game designers. We owe so much to Final Fantasy VII. Without it, the entire franchise would still be considered niche by most Western publishers, so of course, fans were begging for a Final Fantasy VII remake with all new, slick, modern visuals. It was only a matter of time before Square Enix came to their senses and obliged fans. Well, a matter of 8 years. At E3 in 2015, dreams came true, and the remake was officially confirmed with a glorious glimpse at Cloud Strife's big comeback. Now, it's been a solid 2 decades since the game's initial release, and Square Enix has narrowed the new release date window to all of 2018, which is admittedly vague, but still better than nothing. In the meantime, they're giving fans plenty to stay stoked about, like the fact that gameplay will coincide with full game-sized episodes, or the action-heavy real-time combat comparable to Final Fantasy XV. But let's not forget the cream of the crop, those glorious new high-definition graphics. Surely, this is the remake fans have been waiting for, as Final Fantasy VII is shaping up to be one of Square Enix's most ambitious projects yet. There you have it, gamers. I'm Crystal Marie, and thanks for watching our video on the most anticipated games of 2018. Tell us your thoughts, or share your most anticipated games with us in the comment section below. Don't forget to click the bell icon to become part of the notification squad. And if you like getting more from your games, subscribe to the Leaderboard, your home for video game facts.